All right, going to a little different episode tonight. You might see a little bit of flashing on my face, but we're going to go into the second episode of the series about the Cigar Lounge build out here in the house. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the technology part. So I've got all the TVs on, so there might be a little bit of reflection in my eyes and stuff. And so I'm just going to actually recording this during the Cigars Unbanded with friends tonight. And Ronnie's on, and everybody's got their Don Dermas. I'm going to be smoking a Plasencia here, just something a little different while we go over some of this stuff. So bear with me. So the first thing we're going to go over is the ventilation system. So you can actually see some of the smoke kind of hanging around. It is the AC Infinity system that I have. I think it's an 8-inch. What I'm doing here is actually getting on my tablet, and we'll go over this a little bit. It looks like there's a firmware update for the system, but I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. And I'm going to turn it on to, you like my boomer look there to the bottom of my trifocals. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and turn it on to level 5. It is set to go to a max of 10. You can actually hear some of the suction pulling in the room. I don't know if you heard the popping or not, but yeah, so yeah, it's on and pulling. Anyway, so it's the AC Infinity. They do have an app. So everything in this room runs off the iPad. So right now, just to go over some of the things that I was looking for in a room like this, and what I'll do is I'll actually pick up the camera and kind of show you around a little bit. It's not a very big room, it's 8 by 13, but it's a little dusty as well from the construction and stuff, so I still have some tidying up to do, so don't hold that against me. But yeah, this is fantastic. I'll enjoy this while I'm reviewing or going over some of this stuff. First off, you can see one, let's see if I can get this right. There's a vent there, and there's also a vent over here at the same height. They're both 4x10, just vent boxes, so they go out and they wire together, and the AC Infinity takes it directly to the outside. It's probably approximately 15 to 20 feet of duct run with 190 in it. And then from the last video, you saw how that was lined up with the motor on the other side of the 90 just to knock down on noise. Probably don't hear any noise, barely hear it, just sitting here. So hopefully the mic's not picking it up. That system I can operate from my phone. There's a touch screen, which I'm waiting for an extension cord, right? Extension from the motor, so I can bring that into the room and monitor temperatures in here. Also, I think it's made for grow rooms, so it monitors humidity and all that kind of jazz, which I'm not storing cigars in this room. I just have the Tupper doors doing that in my office. We'll keep them out of this room just for peace of mind. I just don't want them in this room, especially I'll run ozone in here every once in a while as well. But let's see the exhaust system. Is there any more to cover about that? It's just 8 inches. All the math was done if you want to know the math, you can go to the previous video of the first series. So kind of explains how to figure out which system you need to pull it out. So we have the exhaust going out, and then down next to the door on the other side of the room, low, probably about within 2 feet of the floor, I have a incoming vent from the basement that is conditioned. This room has no HVAC supply vents or return vents. So when the suction negative pressure comes on in this room, it opens up the vent. It's like a dryer vent on the wall. On the other side of that dryer vent is a carbon filter, just in case anything decides to leak back out through that non-sealed vent. It'll get filtered by that small filter. But there is definitely a negative pressure in this room to pull out smoke, and the supply, if you want to call it that, from the negative pressure is low on the ground while the exhaust is high, and then that just keeps everything moving, doesn't keep any dead spots for smoke to accumulate. Yeah, so the Been very pleased with the AC Infinity so far. I don't have any knock against it. It's just been quiet and fantastic. Secondly, what I wanted to be able to control in this room, we have the ventilation. I wanted to be able to control the lights, and I can have lights. The only light that I'm able to control, it does have a remote, are the softbox lights, which were suggested by Felipe and Carby. And Felipe is a Cigar Side Chats, and Mike is a cigar carpenter. Those two guys, they have great lighting in their videos, and so I just hit them up and they were able to point me in the right direction. Oh yeah, man, that is hitting the spot tonight. I don't know why. I'm gonna go ahead and take a picture. Ronnie's on. It's been 100 miles an hour tonight. Lights. So some of my previous videos have been done in my office, and you'll see the guitar wall behind me. That was my experiment really on lights, was the Wiz. It's W-I-Z. You can get them from Home Depot, Amazon. So they have, I think they're made by Philips, and they're like the low end, affordable Hue lights. I have not had a problem with them. I've decided to put those pretty much throughout the house in certain areas. So I use them in this room. I put one in the ceiling where I just had a normal light in this room. I have them in the lamp, and then I have the wall lights behind me that kind of just accent the wall a little bit. So you may not be able to tell that they're on tonight just from the ambient light that's in the room from the TVs throwing off a little extra. And I've actually got the lamp light off tonight because there's enough fill light for the rest of the room. So speaking of that, not only did I want to have like cool mood lighting, I also wanted to be able to film in this room with decent lighting, studio lighting that kind of promotes a better looking video. So the soft box, you can see here, does take a little bit of room. I had to turn away from me just because it was so bright on my face. So I think I've got it dimmed down. Let me see here. So it does come with a remote. We'll see. Oh yeah, makes it brighter, dims it. I try to keep it on the lowest. I think that's where I've got it set. Oh, no, maybe not. Maybe that's a little bit better. But anyways, we'll try not to play around with that too much. So I think I did dim it down a little bit. Anywho, softbox, recording lights. So the lamp is over here. I can have a fill light if I need it on the side, and then the above light. I don't really need that light that much. The only light I'm really missing is a light behind me to highlight my shoulders and the back of my head, but I'm working on all that stuff. And the Wiz lights are app controlled. So on the iPad, those are on there as well. So I'll show you the iPad after all this is done, just to show you what I can control from this area. The other thing that I'm looking was one of my key things. I wanted a man cave, and I love sports. You can tell I'm actually a Detroit fan. Detroit, there's one down low, Detroit. And then I also have some other ballpark photos. The other one is right there. That is the Durham Bulls tobacco bull, and then the Durham Bulls ballpark on the other side. So both of these ballparks I've worked for in the past. So I did, I think, 4 seasons in Durham at the Bulls, and then probably another 4 or 5 seasons in Detroit with the Tigers. Yeah, so it's a little bit of my history right there. So I don't know how you reach for that. Fire helmets. And that was after my ballpark career. So I was a firefighter paramedic for 15 years. And now I'm my own construction company. It's been a wild ride. Anyway, so I just wanted to have a little bit of everything in my background. It's history, nice to the man cave. Anyways, that brings me back to the sports. So I wanted multiple televisions. There's a lot of time where sports events are on, and there's more than one event that I want to watch at a time. I accomplished that. Now that did come with some hiccups and some things that I wanted to accomplish. So first I'll show you. You'll see, that's my computer monitor, but we got the crew right there with Ronnie. So we have, these are attached by two arms. They're the exact same monitors here. This is my computer screen, but these two monitors here, this one and this one, are exactly the same. And then I have the larger screen on the entertainment center over there. You can see there's a sound bar below that as well. And the goal and biggest issue that I had was trying to get sound from that I could switch between the different television screens. If I saw something happening on a screen, I wanted to be able to switch to it quickly. I did find some video inputs. They run by HDMI, but it splits the audio off into an optical line. So once I split the optical line off from each one of those, I needed to go to a switch. And that switch, I needed to be remote controlled to whatever monitor I wanted to switch to listen to. Yeah, there's a lot of wires, and what I'll do is I'll take you behind the scenes and I'll probably film some B-roll here. I don't know if I'm allowed to use the word creamy anymore. Anyways, that's creamy and good. A little bit of bread taste on that graham cracker, maybe a little bit. Anyways, so the sound, the monitors are numbered. They all have they have 2 and 3 on them on the tabletop monitors here, which on the arms, they can be swung up, down, around. If I bring another chair in here, if I have company, they could basically have their own screen to watch whatever sporting event they wanted to watch. And with that being said, everything is being run off of Fire Sticks. So I have 3 Fire Sticks in here, and those Fire Sticks hook into the HDMI inputs on those splitters, which when I say splitters, it's splitting the sound off so I can route it to the sound bar. The sound bar is also connected to surround sound, which you can see there's a speaker right there mounted on the ceiling, and then there's another one back here. It does Dolby Atmos, silly stuff like 5.1 surround sound in here. I don't know how you do 5.1 with 3 speakers, but Bose has apparently figured that out. It does sound great. And then there's a subwoofer down out of sight over here in the corner. So yeah, one of my issues so far with the 3 Fire Sticks is controlling them. This one is monitor left, monitor right, and I have one for the main Cigar Lounge TV, so it's the bigger one. The remotes, I could hand a remote to if somebody was in here watching and they wanted to watch something different on on their screen. However, the iPad, I can go in and select all 3 of my Fire Sticks and control them from the iPad. So the iPad is basically one big remote control for all 3 of the televisions. I cannot switch the sound from the iPad. That is a dedicated remote, which is okay. Give me the right side. All right. So you saw the numbers on that, and those are to the corresponding stickers on the TVs. Not only is it made, I can remember which numbers they are, but if somebody was in here that didn't know, they could be like, oh, I want to see what's on, well, I want to listen to TV2. So they can just hit the 2 button on there and it'll switch the sound over. What else? So we have the iPad controls everything, controls the ventilation system, controls the televisions, not the sound. It can control the volume of the sound. And then lastly, I have an air purifier behind me, a Blue Air. Seems to be doing fine right now. Just went to a smaller room. It does great. It'll fire up when I'm smoking. I don't know if you'll be able to pick it up, but let's go to the iPad and we'll pick the Blue Air symbol and we'll turn it on to auto. So it's ramping up now because I'm smoking, of course. A little bit of pepper on the retro. Not bad at all though. It's like a 2 out of 10. Pretty good. Trying to get the air purifier to fire up. Anyways, but I can set it to auto. It kind of measures and fires up on its own when it gets some more smoke in the room. It's just sitting right here behind the chair. So we'll see if we can hear it on the mic. That's one of the things I was trying to do, was overpower a little bit. That way It doesn't have to run at full blast to get things working in here, and it keeps the noise down. There, it ramped up a little bit. We'll be able to see if you can hear it on the recording. Yeah, it's getting pretty loud. All right, so now we've got the air purifier running. All right, well, let's see what else is new. Okay, so I did have DJI mini mics that I was using for like outside or in the other room for recording. They did okay. I enjoyed them, but I noticed Sean from Shanika Smokes and Peter and Cigar Side Chats, Felipe, they all have really good sounding mics, and I thought maybe that was the best way to do that in here. So I already had in my recording studio in the office with the guitars, I had a mic arm that's adjustable. So I used that, and I just bought the Shure, I think it's the MK7 Plus. It does Bluetooth or however you want to hook it up. I know some of the guys have said that the sound is a little bit better, picks up a little better, just sounds better all around. Doesn't seem to be in my way. And I built a little shelf on the side of the office that I hooked the iPad arm to, and also the mic arm to. So it seems to be working out well. And yeah, it just, everything kind of folds up out of the way except for the softbox light. That's the only thing I'm trying to figure out. I may get something that's a little bit smaller for the wall near the mirrors and stuff and ceiling. So we'll see how it works out. Right now it's working out fantastic so far. I love this room. I'd spend more time down here. I think about the only thing that I would change about it is maybe the size of it. I think probably about just one more chair in here would be comfortable. You have to do a little bit of rearranging and take out the softbox light if you had company over, but probably 2 smokers is about the only way it's gonna handle in here. Size-wise, I think the exhaust system would be just fine handling it up because I can ramp it up to full blast and it will change over the air plenty in here. Yeah, I think that's it. So what I'm gonna do is I'll walk around and show some of the different things in the room. So this is my seat. So you can tell that we have multiple screens. Don't get the mirror confused over there, but there's the main screen there. There's a screen there and a screen there. Coffee table. The arm for the screens is mounted there. And over here is just a 2x4 ledge that I've built. I'll decorate that a little bit more. There are some sound dampening acoustic tiles in here that I haven't put up yet. Not for sure if I have much room to put them up, but this kind of shows you how the arm folds up out of the way. Hinge points here. And here's the iPad. Okay. So we have the iPad here. No code. I'm not gonna let you see that if you get that code. So this is my air purifier right now. It's running. You can see that on there, but I also have, put that off of here. We have the lights in here. We have Cigar Lounge, my office. So I'm gonna turn the office lights off. Cigar Lounge lights. Turn up those wall lights. They're down there. There's one down there and then one on the other side of the room. So just showing you all these different apps. Here's the ventilation system. You can see that we're running at just halfway at 5, and the temperature in this room is 60 degrees. So I'm in the basement, so it's keeping it plenty cool in here during the summer. Winter months might be a different story. Let's see. And then we have, let's see if we can get to Fire TV. So it's connecting to the Cigar Lounge. I don't know if you can see these names or not, but we have the Cigar Lounge main, Cigar Lounge left, and Cigar Lounge, and this is my daughter's room with her Fire Stick. You just click on any of one of these and Cigar Lounge left. So it'll ask me for a code. I just have to do that one time, like if it disconnects. So it brings up, I can control that. Trying to figure out how to go back. Oh, up at the top, I can change the remotes that way of the ones I'm not watching. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So I'm not for sure if that's box light. I did put some ceiling tile that's irrelevant to the technology. Oh, above that acoustic, oh, down low, You can see the dryer vent on the wall next to the outlet. So that opens up when the negative pressure comes into the room and then closes down when I shut the system off. My cigar went out. All right. Is there anything else that I can cover? Oh, while we were looking over there at the dryer vent, there is above that acoustical panel, you can see there's a little knob there. That is ozone, which I run when I'm not in here. And I only have to usually run it like 10 to 15 minutes one time a week. So it depends how much I smoke in here to get that going. But yeah, that's the technology part of this room in a nutshell. Anyways, yeah, there's still some little things that I want to add, but from an operational standpoint, it is up and running. There's still carpet on the ground. I will be pulling that out soon. I think that's about the only thing that holds smoke in here. I've got the leather chair, the wooden tables, and everything should be pretty easy to clean. I do need to take a duster and some Windex and get this place nice and shiny. Thanks for tuning in. I'll chop this up and hopefully get it to where everything makes sense. So yeah, I just wanted to review this area, give you an insight, get another video out. Just super enjoying this small closet / man cave that I've put together. 90% of the stuff I already had. The computer monitors I had, the TV I had, they were just collecting space. If you looked at some of the before photos on Instagram, yeah, this room was being a storage shed anyways. But I had all the pictures and memorabilia. I added that. I think I got it $22 from Amazon, so that was fantastic. Just nifty little stuff. But let me give you a little insight here. Jack here was originally where the fire helmets are, and it wasn't working out when I was doing a cigar review. I think Carby was the one that told me about it. I didn't even know it, but they have eye recognition on them, and I just use my iPhone right now. However, I have to cover up my eyes. If I show a cigar up close and I've got my eyes it won't focus on the cigar until I cover up my eyes, and then you get a nice picture of the cigar. However, with Jack and his eyeballs, I was having to cover up two sets. Oh, I've got four. Anyways, my set of eyeballs and Jack's set of eyeballs, it was not working for the camera. And for me to get something focused in, it was just a pain. I couldn't cover up Jack's eyes and my eyes and then hold something at the same time. So keep that in mind. If you've got a photo behind you, it didn't work. So that's why Jack had to move off to the side, and I just rearranged, and it ended up working out really well. My daughter helped me with some design stuff in here. It turned out good. So if you have any questions about the technology, don't hesitate to ask down in the comments. I usually get back to those. And if you have any questions, there's no stupid questions. So if there's something I didn't cover that you've seen in the room, that you haven't seen in the room. So Cigars Unbanded is sponsored by Small Batch. You can do your internet sleuthing on that and figure that out, but it's just a monthly subscription where we all get these unbanded cigars, and on Thursday nights at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, we go in and we smoke it together. We give our tasting notes and we grade it, unbiased grading on cigars. So there's no brand loyalty or things that would cloud your judgment otherwise. So it's an eye opener. It's a great way to learn, train your palate, and get tasting notes that these guys, that some of these seasoned smokers, they're right here on the panel that I'm looking at. These guys are good at what they do, and to be able to learn from them and be able to ask them questions is fantastic. And then they also have a Discord that you can go in and learn all week from, and there's just tons of experience in that area. Thanks for hanging in there. Hope this wasn't too boring, but just gives you an idea of, I'm sure there's more than one way to skin a cat when it's coming to setting up the technology in a room like this. I just wanted to keep it simple, cut down on clutter. I just wanted to be able to have a place to go. I didn't have to worry about smoke, ventilation, place to watch sports, and it seems like it's doing the trick. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, give thumbs up, thumbs down, Tell me what you like, don't like, suggestions, questions. I'll try to respond to them as quickly as possible. Thanks for tuning in, and look forward to the next time I see you guys.